Just doing lists all day. So my Gitz list went up 80 points. I don't get it. But I recreated my lists. So we are, of course, here playing King's Gitz. We have a Fungoid Cave Shaman with Hand of Gork, Staff of Sneaky Stealin', and the Clammy Hand. I like to lean into that recursion. I don't find that the extra damage from Jaws of Mork is better than getting that recursion. When I don't have King's Gitz, I just don't get anything back out of the Loon Shrine, and it feels bad. But King's Gitz plus Clammy Hand, when things die, they're coming back. I can kind of count on it. Getting, turning 10 bounders into 5 additional bounders feels good. Getting that Squig Herd feels good. Getting Stabas back, Gobblepalooza, Sneaky Snufflers, I'm just adding so much to this list with this combination. I think it's better than Jaws of Mork, personally. Then we got Scragrot. Scragrot's doing his thing. And then a Squig Boss. Squig Boss is doing his thing. 2 units of Bounders. Double Reinforced unit of Squig Herd. A unit of Stabas. This unit of Stabas makes this a 2-drop list. And the Stabas is what I put down first. They're either going to be, depending on who my opponent is, they're either going to be a huge screen, right? Like just a single line of 20 Stabas moving across the battlefield. Or they're going to be way off to the side to grab some objectives and just generally be annoying because they get, is it just +1 save against shooting, right? And they can be surprisingly survivable. You can hide them behind terrain and still be within 9 inches of the objective. There's a lot of utility there, and then bringing 10 back later also feels pretty good. So I like the Stabas. Gobblepaloozas and Sneaky Snufflers, and then Gravetide. So what did I lose out of this list? Well, I had Geminids and Pendulum, so I went from having 90 points of Endless Spells to having 30 points of Endless Spells. I had to cut them both, but there's nothing in this list that's really a good Horde Buster, so having Gravetide is pretty good, right? Gobblepalooza can cast it. I have 5 casts in this list, and so that can be pretty good, and we are 2-drop. So this is where I landed with this Squig list. And then I have another King's Gitz list. This one is a little bit different. What I did was I removed Scragrot. And Scragrot, in Squigs, I feel like Scragrot is good. Scragrot's good. The extra command point is good. I like having lots of commands. I feel like that is relevant, even though you can't issue them to the herd. But the Bounders love to run. Redeploys are great. There's no Unleash Hells. Battle Shock is always good. Right, all-out defense is really good. All-out attack is really good because I wasn't running a Marshcrawler Slogoth. Another really important ability that Scragrot brings is the Moon Entreatus, or whatever it's called, where you get to predict the outcome of the moon. So what you're hoping for is that at the end of turn 1, at the end of round 1, the moon is moving into the middle, and then at the end of round 2, Scragrot is going to keep it there in the middle on turn 2, and then on turn 3, it'll also stay board wide. And then by the end, it's like, you can kind of go without the moon. Most of your stuff is done running and charging anyway. So, yep, feels good. So I cut him, and instead I put on a Madcap Shaman with Blizzard to take his place, and a Marshcrawler Slogoth. And then I think, I had 10 extra points too, so it was like 240 points. So that's exactly where we landed. So the Marshcrawler is going to act more like a backline, zone out, because he can actually stay quite far back and still be getting the Squig Herd into his range. The Bounders really like the +1 to hit too. Yep, and I still got my Gobblepalooza there and my Sneaky Snufflers there and everything. Some changes that you could make to the list: you could remove the Stabas, and instead you could add Snarlfang Riders for 120 points, or Fanatics for 110 points. Oh man, I'm so disappointed with these point changes. Look at this great list that I had. Look at this. Okay, here's the list that I had lined up. I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait until this next round of updates comes out, and then I'll put this list together. But I was so pumped. You'll be so happy to see what I had lined up. So these were 140 and these were 170, right? Yeah, they went up by 10 too. So what I was gonna do, I had 100 points. I was gonna take out the Stabas. Oops. I was gonna take out the Stabas and I was going to go Fanatics and Fanatics for 110 points each. I was so excited to play this, right? Because what these Fanatics, they can go inside. One goes in Gobblepalooza and one goes into Sneaky Snufflers. How cool is that? Gobblepalooza and Sneaky Snufflers, both, they have good wards and they have a lot of wounds. They have like 15 and 18 wounds between Gobblepalooza and Sneaky Snufflers respectively. And if you put in some Lunatic Fanatics, suddenly they get, like, they're really good. They're really good. And it makes me sad that I don't get to play this list. I wanted to do this for a long time. If Gobblepalooza is being charged, or if Sneaky Snufflers are being charged and they come right to 3 inches, do you know what you do? At the end of the charge phase, you put the Fanatics behind Gobblepalooza. You put them right behind Sneaky Snufflers because they have a 2-inch reach. It might even be more than that. Loon Smash of Fanatics have a 3-inch reach. So you can put them right behind your unit, and they also get strike first. So then you're like, oh, you're going to charge these guys? Okay, Fanatics right behind. Go ahead. They come charging in, and then D6 attacks times 5. Right? 4s and 3s, 2 Ren, D3 damage. Like, I don't know. It was going to be so good. But now I can't do it. Look how short I am. Look at what they did to my poor list. 60 points. There's nothing in this list. There's no fat I can trim off that. I can lose the Fanatics, but what's going in for 40 points? Like, Pendulum? I don't know. It doesn't feel very good. So, I don't know. I don't get it, everyone. I don't understand. Please share your insights with me. Why did these points go up so much? I didn't feel like Gitz was particularly overpowered and needed a nerf. Like, I looked at the Gloomspite Gitz lists from LVO. They didn't do super great. Like, sure, like, if this is an argument for internal balance, that is a very disappointing argument. The way that you make internal balance better in a mid-tier army is you buff the underrepresented stuff. You don't nerf the things that are doing well. You're like, hey, everyone's playing Squigs, that's bad. Well, nerf it. Well, were they a top 10 army? No, they weren't. They were a 50% win rate army. I have this feeling that Gitz is going down. Gitz is gonna, like, the next time that we look at win percentages, that Gloomspite Gitz is gonna drop, and I don't understand. Please help me understand what am I missing here? It's so annoying and frustrating. All my Gitz players out there, I know you feel the same. Let's hear your voices ring through the comment section. Join the Discord. Maybe we can all hold hands and get through this together. Like, subscribe. What?